Hello and welcome back to another episode of Quick Spin, the Autoweek podcast that gets to the essence of the automobile. Today, we are talking about the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. That's right, the all-new Volkswagen. If you want to take a look at that Volkswagen, you can head to our Instagram page right now. That's at Autoweek USA. And hey, while you're out there, why don't you click on our Facebook page, click that like button. That way, all the great Autoweek content we deliver daily sent right to you. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about this Volkswagen Taos with the great Patrick Carone. But first, we have to pay the bills. Want to join us and our friends at Road and Track at annual testing events, epic automotive events like the Quail, and for excursions around the world? Join the Track Club by Road and Track. You'll get first dibs on these ultra-exclusive experiences, full access to premium print and digital content, tons of privileges and perks, and the opportunity to virtually chat with the best auto editors in the world. Hop on into the Track Club by visiting roadandtrack.com/autoweek. That's ROADANDTRACK.com/AUTOWEEK. And Patrick, tell me about the 2022 Volkswagen Taos. A new crossover.
Wait 1 second here. I didn't drive the Taos. You drove the Taos.
Oh, no. See, Patrick, I know you're my boss. What happens is I get into these fugue states, and I just forget. So I dropped the ball on this one, and I do apologize. I'm just kidding. I'm back from the dead, everybody. No, I did drive the Volkswagen Taos, and it is, in many words, a crossover.
So this is what I know about it. I know that I don't think I've seen one in real life. And the fact that there haven't been car shows, maybe I did see one a while ago and I didn't notice it, but also it's replacing the Golf.
Yeah, effectively. So let's dive a little deep into the Volkswagen history. There was the Beetle, and that stopped selling well. So Volkswagen said, all right, we're going to replace this car with the Golf. And then the Golf lasted forever. And now, sadly, the Golf is dead in the United States. And Volkswagen said, what's selling well? Compact crossovers. Let's make one. So effectively, yeah, this is for all intents and purposes, the replacement for the Golf. And if you're looking for a compact crossover, it does all that much better than a Golf ever could.
Now, this is what I'd be curious about, Wesley. I'd be curious if you recorded yourself walking around a vehicle, perhaps a Taos, and kind of talking about it. I don't know if you have recorded such a thing.
Let's dive into my walk around. And we are walking around the 2022 VW, or as I like to call it, Volkswagen Taos. That's right, let's crack a Monroney here just so I have my facts and figures all handy. This is the SEL, it's a front-wheel drive SEL version that I'm testing. And, hey, let's guide you through it. Standard. LED headlights and taillights, that's exciting stuff. Rolling on a set of 215/50 18s. That's a SEL standard wheels, an 18-inch. The base, the SE, and I think the S as well, is a standard 17-inch wheel. So it looks really good. It looks, this might be a shock. It looks kind of like a shrunk-down Atlas. It kind of has that same MQB Volkswagen style, which is good. Nice bold face. Honeycomb grille. Let's crack open this tailgate. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man. Two-row crossover, as you'd expect with a smaller version. Very spacious cargo area. This is nice. This is actually great. This is I don't think it would probably fit 4 carry-on suitcases, maybe 6 carry-on suitcases, depending on how you set them up vertically. That is nice. Not a power tailgate. Brand new struts, though. Let's climb in the back really quick. Rear legroom. If you're hauling people around, rear legroom is great, actually. I do not feel cramped in here at all. Panoramic sunroof on this one. Lights, handles. The back is nice. The seats are nice. There's a leather seating. Yeah, this car, again, as I probably have already mentioned, and I definitely will mention later, is right around 32 grand. It's 31 and change, 31,490. 158 horsepower from this 1.5 liter. That's very good. Now we're sitting in the front. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic for those that are curious. Oh, I found the automatic start-stop button. That is crucial later. There is an automatic stop-start delete or override. I imagine it cycles through. Automatic, as I previously mentioned. On the SEL, it has a digital, kind of automatic climate controls. The Digital Cockpit Pro, a nice digital gauge cluster. I like the digital gauge clusters. It gives you a lot of ways to customize it. Nicely finished. Leather on the middle section of the dash, but the rubbery plastic on the top. Center console maybe a little smidge small in the storage, but who's shoving stuff in the center console? Big sunroof, fills the whole top. USB-Cs, if you're like me and have an Atari iPhone, basically, you don't have a USB-C cable, so you might need to invest in one of those were you to buy one of these, but I'm pretty sure that's a small investment considering a new car. But hey, we've yammered on enough about this. Let's take it for a little cruise.
Well, it sounds like from what you said, you got a heck of a lot for the price. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very, as you're probably well aware, a very aggressive segment, a very competitive segment, and Volkswagen didn't pull any punches. You get a lot of car, and a two-row compact crossover is going to do well, especially in the folks that were buying hatchbacks that can't buy hatchbacks because they don't exist anymore. You get a lot of cargo space, you get a lot of rear leg room, and you get a comfortable ride, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But you're getting a lot of content for the dollar, which I think is what most automakers would like to argue at these entry-level vehicles.
Well, I'm curious, what was the Golf going for, this year?
So this is a little more expensive than the Golf, but I mean, hey, what are you going to do? The SEL Sportwagen was, I guess, comparable to this at near 30. But this is a little more expensive in the SEL form. The base Taos, the Taos starts at 24 and change.
All right.
For the front-wheel drive S, that's comparable to a Golf. Yeah, the more premium Taos kind of gets the number up there a little bit.
Where did you go in this, by the way? Did you take a little trip or just drive around your neighborhood?
Oh, did I ever? This is the first drive. And actually, Patrick, I'm starting to recover some from my fugue state a little bit, and I recorded myself driving this thing. Let's go to that. Yeah, I should probably see a doctor. I go into way too many fugue states. And we are driving. That's right. We're taking a 2022 Volkswagen Taos for a little bit of a quick spin, as they'd say. All right, let's pick up the pace. We are in country roads. I don't know how much of that I can sing because of DMCA. All right. Power delivery on this 1.5 is good. It's not going to knock you back. It is a relatively small four-cylinder engine. But it gets you to highway speeds. It gets you there quickly. It feels like torque comes on early. This is the SEL, so we're sitting at a relatively loaded Taos, hovering around hovering around $32,000. That's not cheap, but it's not too bad. All things considered, I mean, average transaction price is hovering around 40. Steering feels light, which is predictable. With these compact crossovers, they don't want you to have almost an unassisted power steering feel. That would be nobody wants that. I mean, we want that, but the average consumer does not want that. A little bit of road noise and a little bit of wind noise. The wind noise could be because it's hurricane, tornado force winds out there. No, I'm just kidding. It's not too bad. Not too windy. It is relatively windy, though, so a little bit of a crosswind, and you can hear it around the car. The road noise, it's not a great road in terms of surface, so on normal driving streets, it is quieter. Power delivery, man, I am all in on these smaller engines. As a person that likes dumb pushrod vintage engines that make no power, it's amazing that you can get over 150 horsepower out of a 1.5 liter engine. That is just fun to me. And the power delivery is linear. It comes on early and it pulls you. Again, it's not going to set a land speed record, but it'll definitely keep up with traffic. This one does not have a drive mode selector. However, other trims do, and it has a sport mode that affects everything. Actually, it affects throttle map, steering, and shift logic. So that's good. This one does not have it that I can see. I'm also trying to drive, so that's a bit of a prickly pear too. But yeah, this is the Taos and its glory. It drives, it drives well. Track's nice and true. I wouldn't say it's as nimble as a Golf, but what is? GTI. That's what. But no, this is for the compact crossover buyer. This makes a statement. It makes an argument for the person moving out of a Golf that wants to replace with a Golf and can't. This scratches. This is the car for you. If you want a Golf, but you can't because they don't make them anymore, at least in the States, this scratches that itch for sure. But enough rambling. Back to the studio. If there's a young person in your life who's really into cars, give them the gift of R&T Crew, the ultimate subscription box by Road and Track for kids ages 6 to 10 every other month. A box is delivered to their door and is stuffed with cool accessories, fun activities, and a magazine chock full of facts, stories, games, and more. Sign up now to receive the all-new Snack Attack box and enter code Autoweek for 10% off an annual box subscription. Just head to rtcrew.com, that's rtcrew.com, and use code Autoweek. And thankfully, the studio audio quality is much better than that. No, so I touched on this a little bit, and I guess I should really give some more explanation. That 1.5 liter inline four, what I was really trying to express is the 184 pound-feet of torque that comes on at 1,700 RPMs. That really, you feel this thing shuffling down the highway. Obviously, again, to beat a dead horse, it's not fast. It's not as quick as, say, an LC500 convertible, which I believe we'll talk about on a later episode, but it is far from sluggish.
It's got oomph.
It's got some oomph. Not a lot of oomph. Not a spill your coffee all over your amount of oomph, or not a put a dollar bill on the dashboard and try to bet somebody for it amount of oomph, but like enough oomph that'll carry you to 60, no problem. And
you seem to enjoy the driving experience.
Yeah, so Volkswagen does a really good job with its small cars, right? Historically, it's always done a really great job with the small cars. It's a small car company, for all intents and purposes. Obviously, that's not exactly the case, but yeah, it drives really, really well. It does all the things you want a crossover to do, right? It's soft and supple on the ride. It's the light steering, not a lot of brake dive when you slam on the brakes.
I did a little Googling. I think it's a handsome vehicle.
Yeah, like I said, it kind of looks like a shrunk-down Atlas. All that style, the Volkswagen crossover styling is kind of very familiar, and as much as that, like they have that family-style approach, which a lot of automakers are doing. And I think for a little two-row crossover, I think it looks really good. It has a lot of presence.
Well, Wesley, you always pose this question to us, and you always pronounce it so nicely. I'm going to try and do the same. And what I would ask you is, what would you say is this car's raison d'etre?
Well, that is a tough question, and I spent a lot of time thinking about it, believe it or not. But ultimately, I keep coming back to Volkswagen's, or VWs, as some call it, history. And I think that, to put it bluntly, this is just a Golf replacement, which is not a bad thing. That's a high watermark if you're going to replace a Golf, which is a champ in the compact car world. You know what I mean? That's a tough nameplate to be following up. But looking at the Beetle, its wild success, the Golf's wild success, the way both of those cars shaped, not necessarily just American car culture, but global car culture. This move to effectively becoming a subcompact or compact crossover, depending on if you're the EPA or not, and talk about interior volume, it's a huge deal. And I think, it's a successful Golf replacement. Now, will there be performance variants? The thing to really see if they're going to go all in and replace the GTI with a...
No, you really think they'd do that?
I don't know. That's the $1 million question. That's the future. But it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibilities to make a GTI version of this, right? It just makes it crank the power up a little bit, maybe put some different dampers on it. But ultimately, Patrick, and this is the hard truth that I think we might be seeing, this might end up just being a small stopgap in the greater expanse of EVs. I don't think that this might have the legs that, say, a Golf did in lasting 40 or 50 years as a nameplate, right? Because the ID3 might be the true Golf replacement. Who knows? Who knows? Only the future will tell.
Yeah, who knows? Well, Wesley, thank you for, doing the hard work of testing this vehicle and putting it through its paces. And I'm sure the listeners appreciate it very much.
Anything I can do to help. Let's just put it that way. And this Taos, let me say. And hey, thank you so much for listening. Please, while you're listening right now, head over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to this bad boy and give us a quick review. I will appreciate it, and I will shout you out just like Jay Punzak. Thank you so much for leaving a review, and thank you for liking the Maserati Levante. I also like it. Thank you so much. And hey, while you're out there cruising the internet, why don't you click on our Facebook page, click that like button. That way you get all the great Autoweek content we deliver daily sent right to you. And I say this at the end of every episode, and I mean it. Thank you so much for listening. Without your listenership, none of this would be possible.